Hello, the Pioneer viewers. How are you doing? I hope you're healthy and well. As the Pioneer team, we continue to share with you the developments regarding the Russia-Ukraine war. In a moment, we will share with you an incredible development that has emerged regarding the Russian armed forces. As it is known, new aid is coming to the Ukrainian armed forces. With a new support package from the United States of America, the resistance of the Ukrainian armed forces, which is doing wonders with the little means, will gain even greater momentum. In contrast, the situation of the Russian armed forces is getting worse every day. As we've reported in recent days, the situation in the Russian armed forces has deteriorated to such an extent that the Russian soldiers are now demanding more primitive weapons from the Russian military leadership, such as shotguns. It is even more evident that the resistance of the Ukrainian armed forces has so far dealt a blow to the Russian arms capacity. So, what is the latest information about the weapons and ammunition capacity of the Russian armed forces? Let's take a look at developments together. But before moving on to our report, I would like to make a small reminder. As the Pioneer team, we continue to inform you about the developments in Russia-Ukraine war. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss our daily reports and explanations. I also read all of your comments on our videos, so please continue to share your ideas about our content in the comments. Tell us in the comments what content you would like to see on the Pioneer channel. Let's start if you're ready, because the Pioneer is reporting. So the war between Russia and Ukraine is in full swing, and the Ukrainian armed forces are putting up a very successful resistance across the front line. But of course, this is a long and difficult marathon. Even though the resistance is so strong today, the situation can change, both positively and negatively. That's why we're living days of history that need to be carefully monitored every day. And the situation is similar for the Russian armed forces. After the end of the summer offensives of the Ukrainian armed forces, the advance of the Russian armed forces gained momentum. However, this momentum has largely diminished. Even the days when this momentum was growing, the average loss of the Russian armed forces in a single day reached 1,000 soldiers. So this was only in terms of the personal losses. Ukrainian armed forces units were also targeting Russian armed vehicle and the Russian ammunition convoys. Meanwhile, the losses suffered by the Russian armed forces increased considerably, and the most significant losses occurred in the Black Sea. The naval forces, one of the areas where the Russian armed forces are seen as the most powerful, especially the Black Sea fleet, were heavily damaged as a result of the successful operations carried out by the Ukrainian armed forces and the lots of flawed operation capacity. So in recent days, a very interesting development has emerged regarding the Russian armed forces. As it is known, Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, has been making a military capacity of the Russian armed forces domestic policy issues at every stage and claiming that the Russian armed forces are strong with propaganda. In the last Russian elections, one of the most important stages of the Russian leader Putin propaganda was the Russian armed industry. However, it seems that the Russian arms industry is not in such a good condition. According to reports, the Russian armed forces, which are supposed to protect the largest country in the world, are buying ammunition from the tiny country of North Korea. So, according to reports, Russian President Vladimir Putin has been buying weapons from North Korea since last year to strengthen Russia's weapons stockpile. However, according to recent reports, Russian President Vladimir Putin and his staff are not very happy with the ammunition that North Korea is selling to the Russian military. In fact, according to some sources, Russian commanders are seriously criticizing Russian leader Putin on this issue. And according to these commanders, instead of buying proven and successful ammunition or equipment, leader Putin has purchased weapons from North Korea whose competence is not fully clarified simply because of ideological similarities. Many local sources claimed that North Korea has not only provided military ammunition, in addition to the military ammunition, raw materials, supplies, and various materials were also purchased from North Korea. However, the supplies received from North Korea were largely inadequate. It is not even limited to being insufficient. According to reports, the supplies purchased from North Korea caused major problems in the Russian armed forces because, according to these allegations, most of the missiles and explosives purchased from North Korea malfunctioned during the firing or transportation. At some points, it is reported that even the ammunition in the ammunition depots exploded on their own. So, according to these reports, almost half of the missiles purchased from North Korea did not hit the target during the attacks. One of the other half, some of them malfunctioned during the firing and exploded. Others detonated on their own in the warehouses where they were stored. And one source even claimed that a group of the Russian soldiers were killed after an explosion in the warehouse where these missiles were stored. However, according to local sources, the Russian government imposed a massive censorship on this incident and kept the developments under wraps. The Ukrainian authorities have also recently conducted an analysis on the wreckage of the North Korean ammunition. According to the analysis, it was determined that about 50% of North Korea's rockets given to the Russian army lost their way and self-destructed. Making statements on this subject, Chief Prosecutor General Andrei Kostin made the following statements. About half of the North Korean missiles lost their program trajectory and exploded in the mid-air. Pyongyang's stockpiles are very unreliable and they keep doing crazy things. They are dysfunctional. It's largely as if they're built to hurt the launcher, not the side from which they're launched. It is not unusual for them to misfire and explode, but the enemy will use these rockets under any circumstances because now they even need these dysfunctional pieces of iron. We can say that North Korea's ballistic missiles are of a very low quality with an accuracy of around 20%, and this is a very low success rate compared to the capabilities of the missiles we have. So far, we've caused serious damages to the enemy's military infrastructure, which is why the enemy is in need of these scrap. This is Ukraine's success. As we can see, the support provided by North Korea to the Russian armed forces is quite insufficient. Even if they are sufficient in number, they are qualitatively insufficient. And however, as the Prosecutor General's office points out, the Ukrainian armed forces have so far achieved successes that have left the Russian military in the need of this junk. And this is a very important development. So what do you think? Do you think the damage done by the Ukrainian armed forces to the infrastructure of the Russian armed forces will increase? What do you think about the North Korean ammunition supplied to the Russian army? And do you think North Korean munitions will cause more problems? And the last one, do you think the military infrastructure of the Russian army will improve? Let me know in the comments, because you know that I read and I care about all of your comments.